Hi people, how are you? It's been a long time. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you first of all to all of you who have subscribed to my channel, those who've been following me, and I'd like to give a big shout out to those of you who are also following me on TikTok. I really appreciate it. I had slided a bit and gone to TikTok because there were so many things happening so fast. But I'm back here to my YouTube channel and I'm going to share with you through shorts mainly a lot of the things that I had posted on TikTok, and then some of the longer videos I'm also going to share with you. I had a problem with my laptop, so doing videos this style and editing hadn't been so easy because I'm used to the TikTok style. But now I'm going to be back. Today, I had my son's graduation over the weekend, and before that, it's been a hectic week coming up to his graduation and then the after party. You can see I've washed blankets. I put in an extra clothesline. I don't know if you can see the yellow one. Because we didn't have enough space to hang clothes, so I had to improvise and get a nylon string, but sturdy string. Then I've returned the items that I had borrowed. For those of you who are Kenyans, you know we borrow sufurias, plates, cups to be able to handle the guests and everything. Thank you very much, asanteni, to all the ladies who showed up to help with the cooking and the serving, and most of all, of course, my guests. Thank you very much. You made the day very memorable for the graduate, and also you're able to show him the appreciation he deserves and the praise he deserved. So I have you. It's so dry here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to the shamba. It's been very dry. Actually, I planted maize, but I got about let's say less than a debe. The fresh maize, I refrigerated. I ate some of it with my kids, and then the other one was little, so I gifted somebody. So I had to clear the garden before visitors came in, but the maize was there was hardly anything. But my my what my what is sugarcane? Not this little one. The one on the outside is doing very well. So I saw something that the Chinese do. They bind up several stalks of sugarcane and tie them with the stalks that are going up. And I remember the local workers had told me that it's good to remove the drying stalks because they harbor insects. But the Chinese said that when you tie them up together, they make the stalk remain. Oh, not the stalk, the leaves, the spiny leaves. You keep on tying them together every about 2 meters to 1 meter or so. But mine have grown to a length. I'm going to try that. So they stay bound together. They don't lean. You're able to support them with something like a banana stalk because it's one thick, like 8 of them bundled together. And then the main stems of the sugarcane remain thin and easy to peel. You can actually peel with your hand. I quite liked that, so I'll do it. So I have a banana outside that's wilting, and then this is my what do you call it? This is my seeding banana. So whenever it has shoots, I remove them and then plant. I'm on a shared plot, so I like to make sure that each one of us has an equal number of plants. So I normally remove this to seed, but right now it's so dry. I don't know whether I'm going to remove the ones on the side, but I'll check if I can get someone who can come and dig a good hole and then what do you call, just plant sticks on the side so that they have a bit of shade and then I can water. So what I've done for watering for the smaller plants is that I've taken this plastic bottle and I've pierced holes on mainly half the side. They're very small. I don't know. I'm going to do this as a tester with one of the bananas and the lemon tree, which are young, and then I'll bury it right up to here, around here, and then I'll be filling with water and I cover the cup so that insects don't enter inside. So I'm going to try that with the two of them and then see how they progress during the week. And then if I get somebody to come and do the gardening, I'm going to ask him to transplant for me the banana, and I'm probably going to get a few more plants, beautify, because I'm still beautifying the compound. And I'll do the same thing because normally I water 20 gallons per plant, new plant. but it's not sufficient in the heat of this place. And we have clay soil. It dries up and hardens so fast. It just leaves the crops dying. So I'm going to try the same with the big bottles, and I'll use a bigger screwdriver to make the holes so that they go slowly, but they do remove water, because I know once it mixes with soil, sometimes I've seen when I tried with immersing a bottle into the soil, I don't know that I did it wrongly, but the plant didn't drink the water. So I'm going to try this, and then we'll see how that goes. So karibu and walk with me. Before we go to the garden, you see this, I've put all that pile of twigs there, and that piece of metal sheet, iron sheet. Let me just point it. This one. And those stones there. Because my dog, I'm trying to keep my dog Skip in. He is such a strong dog. And I think because he's grown big, so he keeps on escaping. And a few weeks back, he ate somebody's two chicken, which I have to pay for. And I'm trying every way, because I hate really chaining him. So I'm trying every way possible to see how I can restrain him. Oh gosh, I don't know. Even if I get a chain with a long leash, it's still not the same, because hey Skip, come and say hello. Skip, 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 come, 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 boy. Oh yeah, that's him answering to my orders. Don't want to get locked in. So this table, we put it to help serve the guests when they came. All this had maize, but it was so scant. It was like long reeds of weed. So I just removed it. And then our building material is still there. As you can see, I'm going to have this hollow, shallow, this ditch-like place is going to be filled with the soil we'll remove from the construction site. You can see some, what can you call it, trees? Some plants have grown on the stones because they've been unused for long, but that doesn't affect them in any way. So I've put a bit of this barrier fencing here. This is actually where my share of the lot reaches, and then I need to do the same here. I tried, but oof, I've just been too busy to concentrate on this particular row here. There'll be a gate here because we are sisters in this plot, so I don't intend to completely shut it out. There'll be a small gate. So this line is what I need to add on crops to, and there's a little banana there. That's what I'm going to, not, I've already mulched it, but that's what I'm going to put a bottle on. And believe it or not, this is a lemon that is so hardy, it survives everything, but I'm pitting it. So yeah, let me try and see if the bottle is going to help, the bottle of water. And yeah, and we get on with that. All this is rubbish we had burnt from when the inner fence was getting cleared. And my peach tree has fruited twice now. It has fruited twice, and it has given very big, lovely peaches. No, guavas. So before it fruits again, we're going to have to move it. About most of you, but I dig with a spade. That's what I'm used to. I find it easiest. I saw it borrowed from the way the Americans do it, so that's how I'm going to be digging. Let me look for a spot to put this. I hope it will show clearly, because I don't have a rainbow. Oops. Where do we put this? Let's try there. Oops, I didn't check which side has the holes. Yeah, so this is the side that faces the plant. make sure it's not squeezed in too hard, and then cover it with soil to hold it in place. Yeah, that's as deep as the roots are. And then fill with water. Oops, that went so fast. Yeah, mulching is really good because I can see, I don't know if you can see, the soil around here is still damp. Yeah, so that will do. You can see just a little, very little water has gone in, has remained. This little banana, I think it's because the person who was clearing the garden burnt some rubbish here, and it burnt the banana. So I think the mulching is doing well enough for now. I don't think that needs a bottle. That's my one person anonymous decision. So I'm going to leave that still mulched. Probably I'll add more mulching because I can see that is doing very, very, very well. Yep, that's fine. So go to the next one. That one I know is definitely dry. So yeah, this one is it's going to be good. So I've dug all around, and then these are fish that I had bought, the small fish, not omena but bigger than omena, I had bought to make for my dog. But when I got home, someone had advised me they're good for dogs, but when I got here, so huge, so bony, that I couldn't make them for the dog. So I left them in the sun and rain. They've weathered several months. As I said, I've been busy and away, but I had hung them somewhere up. So they are now useful as as organic fertilizer. So that's what I'm going to be spreading around the hole and helping this little tree before I start watering it. I'll be using this and a bit of that peelings of potato and old cabbage to mulch this. So I'm having a very difficult time finding somewhere to keep the phone, but I'm going to keep on trying what we call kienyeji DIY and just find a spot where it can hold. It's not showing too clearly, pardon me. So yeah. So so I've spread the fish around. Now I'm going to plant the bottle. Yeah, to the side of the holes facing the plant. Bit deep. I can see some safarians here. I really fear these damn things. So I have to be very careful for myself. And then put the mulching over first. The fresh mulching first. And then I'll show you some leaves that I also use that are fresh. I found that everything I plant where I use these leaves at inception when I'm planting or when I'm mulching grows just healthier and stronger than other plants. I don't know. It's a herb that suits your stomach. So I have so much faith in it. So I always plant with it. So I'm going to add some here. Then cover with soil. And then I'll put the mulching on top. That's how I do it. Okay, I haven't filled the bottle with water, but that's coming. Because I won't cover its top yet. This way the fertilizer, the manure, is also going to be incubated to continue cooking inside the warmth of the, it's like an incubator for all the manure. The mulching is going to act as an incubator to let this cook and roast, not roast but cook, and feed the plant organically and slowly and in a healthy way. Now I can add the water and cap the bottle. Let me see how fast this one goes. Yeah, here it's really dry. So since it's not filling up, it's being taken in immediately, which is also not bad, but this isn't sufficient water. So I'm going to water it first before I mulch. Even when I've mulched, usually when I'm watering the plants, I'll remove the mulch to the side and then water the plants. Because sometimes when you mulch on top of, when you pour the water on top of the mulching, what happens is that some of the mulching might drink up all the water and the plant doesn't get that. So I burnt a lot of the grass for the clearance. So for mulching, I'm going to use leaves. Yeah, that's what I have available. Mulching, and I've put in the little bottle and just put a bit of water. I've capped it. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 10 liters with the mulching on the side. These are sweet potato vines that hadn't completely dried. So I'm going to water the mound first, and then after that I'm going to cover it again. And then in the evening, whenever I'm watering plants that have mulching, I remove the mulching to the side because sometimes the mulching absorbs all the water, not the plants. Then I cover them up again. That way the steam from the heat at night, that's what's going to come onto the mulching and then reduce it and get absorbed to the soil, but not the actual water that is supposed to go to the plants. Yeah, so let me get that water and pour that and see how that goes. Something I don't like doing, that keeps a watering pan, and I put it there so that it's on a tilt. Then I leave the tap dripping so that the water is always fresh because it's moving and the birds can also drink it. I don't like having to water plants with water from the tap, though I get it from a supplier who has a borehole. So that's why here in semi-arid areas, we prefer to recycle water, like all the water that I used for doing the laundry yesterday. I poured on the bananas and the fruit trees, and that was yesterday. So if when I do the evening dishes, I'll also add pour out onto the plants. But now just by pouring this like this straight out, I find it so painful. Yeah, it's the plants, but we utilize water carefully, very carefully here. But this is for the lemon plant, which I'm trying to resuscitate so that it doesn't die off. And there's another one also within the compound, which I'm going to do the same. And I'm also going to plant some of the vines to make them cuttings, and just place them in that soil so that I have them as seed before the next rains come. Although I had done some within the compound, I'm just going to do more because there are good variety of sweet potato. Only that the badness is that the climate here doesn't allow, and I don't have enough foliage to allow the sweet potatoes to last through full maturity. Yeah, so there we go. Make sure to water it very, 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 very generously. You can see a sweet potato in that, among all that, so I don't know if I should just bury it inside. That's what I meant. You don't just water on top of all the mulching because that might dry. You'll be surprised how far this water goes. Like sometimes you water the plant for so long and then you open up the soil and you find that it hasn't gone even a foot deep because this clay soil is so dry. So like if it's 20 liters, it has to be 20 liters or you're going to be cheating yourself. Like it's really, really dry. So I'm going to pick some of these vines and just pop them inside. And trust you me, that's going to be, they're going to seed. I'll take the healthiest ones. I know this is very kienyeji, very local, the way I'm doing it, but farming is just local. There are a bit of cutting, ones that look a bit strong, healthy. This one is a red inside. And this must have a fresh isn't accepting. This looks good. Yeah, and that one. Where the vine starts inside. This one inside. On the side. Keep mind doing that for that one. Yep, done that one. Those should be enough. Water them some more. You can see, apart from this evergreen shrub, a tree, decorative tree, everything else is so, especially the cassava you can see, and the rest of the bananas are so dry. I mean, the trees are just green because they have deep roots, but everything else has a problem coping with the heat. So now I cover it up. Take it round as much as possible. That should provide sufficient shade for the plant. Yeah. So yeah, that will do for now. Get my spade and go back. It's probably hot and going to burn me. Okay, that should do for now. That's going to cover that. Water again in the evening, and if I'm going to, since I'm going to be around, I'll be watering just a bottle, the green bottle, once a day in the evening. That should be able to do. And then I'll do the same for the little banana. This one also got burnt by the fire that was here. You see the leaves have turned yellow, but this is going to brown. But this is, I know it's very sturdy. It's going to, do you call it recuperate? It's going to get back to normal very fast. But the cassavas, all the mulching also, I'm just going to do more mulching using the fencing that I have here and the trees, so that by the time the rain comes, then what I do is that when I'm mulching, I cut off some of the stems of the cassava and add on how much cassava there is, because my intention is I'm going to have more cassava, a lot more cassava growing in the garden, because I've seen that maize being so seasonal, it's when I don't have money and I'm a bit late to plant, then I don't get a good harvest. But cassava is very hardy in this weather and it's going to last me for long. I had to go and do a bit of laundry for a throw that I bought for one of my children, and the clothes I was wearing yesterday, because I needed that water to water the plants, and because I need to have it delivered tomorrow or the day after, and it has to dry. So this is the other lemon tree I was talking about, and then the aloe vera. The aloe vera is very hardy. It always survives. You see, there are some more in the bushes. And the story of how I got aloe vera in my compound is that one time I was walking in Ruai, and I found somebody had thrown like a whole field of aloe veras, getting rid of them. I think he was clearing the compound, and I just picked them up, came. It was the ground wasn't very dry. I think it was just after rainy season, and I planted them in between these bushes here, because they are sheltered that way. So whenever I need stock, I just come and pick from this. Even a leaf, you can cut a leaf and start your stock with that. So they are very hardy, so I don't have any problem with them. I just keep them here in the corner. I occasionally use them on skip my dog for treatment when variously, but right now this is what I'm concerned about, this tree. And then this one I had dug around it. I had dug around it a bit, and so this is just a slow grower, period. It's called a what we could call it, zambarau, I think. Well, I just normally get local trees, native trees, but some of them I don't know. This one I think is a zambarau, but I'm not very sure. But because it's indigenous, then I just get it. Don't worry about the carpet. We had taken it out for cleaning. I think by tomorrow I should have it cleaned, because I need to lay a tarpaulin tent material. What do you call it? The plastic neo paper on the ground. I don't have a very big surface that has concrete. So when I lay it on that, that's how I wash it. And it has to be a sunny day. So we've been having sunny days this week. Despite the cold, we've been having bits of sunshine. So that's what's going to do it. This one, when I wash it, then it takes about 2 to 3 days to dry. If it's very hot, it can just dry in a day. But since I need to use a lot of drums and stuff, or put it over the fence, yeah, then it can dry in a day. So let me get working on this, and then I'll show you the results. So you see I've just poured water here, and I'll show you what I was talking about. Oh, okay, this has penetrated at least. This was damp before, but you can see that at this level it's just because it had its own humidity, but the water has not reached very far because the clay soil is so hard, it's so compacted. So I need to break it up with this kind of lifting. Sometimes, of course, I unsettle the roots a bit, but not too much because I'm not moving the whole plant. It's just in a healthy, comfortable way to allow for some breathing. These are tiles that we'll be using in our renovations. So for the time being, they just keep the plants come here. That's the safest place they can live. There's little other storage area. So it's a bit tricky here because it's in a corner, and I have all this construction material here. But it won't stop me. I just do what I can. Make sure this soil is very well turned, so that once there's some mulching done, there's a bit more hope for this plant to have breathability. So I'm also going to mulch this with a bit of vegetables that I used earlier on the other lemon tree. And so mulching done for that, and I'll show you the other zambarao. I'll find out the English name. I've poured some ash since there's a spot which had had some weeds burnt, and then I've poured also some potatoes, some cabbage, and the same leaves I was talking about. So I'm going to do the covering on all of them, and then watering, and then I'll do the mulching afterwards. This will not get a full 10 liters because the soil around it is already damp, and I'm also not going to put any cuttings of the sweet potato here because the space is so limited where it can creep and grow even if I want it for seeding. So I'm just going to dampen this, and I'm so limited in what to use for mulching because I had cleared the ground of a lot of the grass, and until it grows I don't have much. So I'm going to use the sweet potatoes again, and I can't use the maize husks because that is going to bring mice and rats here, and then that should hold because the soil is aired. So let me fill more water for the other plant. I've managed to rake up some leaves and debris from the undergrowth, so that should do for now. At least that should have it well covered. This is the pile of the maize I harvested, and those are the sweet potato vines that were pulled out and had a few very termite infested sweet potatoes. So what I've done here is this tree is just like the other one. They actually have spines. They call spines or thorns. They actually have thorns. I don't know whether they're very clear. Yeah, they have thorns. Spiky thorns. So that's the mulching I've done, and then I've planted some vines. The other vines I was planting very long ones. Here I've cared to remove some into small bits. And then I'm going to do the watering, the covering first, and then the watering. Then I'll just do the mulching with the vines. That's all I have for now. Little seedling is a bit more disadvantaged because there are plants around here that have very bulbous and long roots. But I liked this spot because it's in the shade, and it's going to be in the corner of the compound when we are done with landscaping. So it's about planning for the future. Right now it's very desolate near the road, but it gets a lot of shade in the afternoon. That's what I needed. And once we complete our intended developments in the compound, this is going to be in the corner. So I need like almost every corner and passage within the compound to have a fruit tree. Not like this pine. The pines are beautiful, they're easy to grow because they have very long roots. But yeah, they're a shade, they'll be very good for wood, and aesthetics, but later on I'll plant a shade tree here. We had a shade tree and I donated it to the school because I had been wrongly advised by so many people that the roots are going to uproot the house. They lift up the house. It's a very beautiful shade tree, but I've now seen it around very many buildings in Nairobi's industrial area. The buildings are thriving. They're over 50 years old, 60, and nothing has happened to them. So based on that, and because we have root control, the construction guidelines are totally different now for protection. And there's a way I've seen that you can put a very thick paper lining around it to control the rooting and divert it towards maybe deeper places that might have a lot of water drainage, like the compound or pit latrine. So that's what I'm going to do, and then get the shade tree again. So now there's a lot of foliage here. That's what I'm going to use for mulching. That was quick work because having trees with foliage is so helpful. And I guess I'm going to carry some inside to the bucket or just to the spade to use on the other trees, seedlings. Yeah, because this is a lot and it's a bit spiky, so it prevents dogs from wanting to dig. Talk about dogs. They dig around fresh mounds anywhere where there's a bit of dampness. Okay, I don't know if it's all dogs. My dogs keep. So if the more spiny the leaves are, the better it is. So that's cleared for that. And I think I can rest now. Ciao. So I worked until I took off the head covering because it was getting hotter. My tools of trade are here. It's been a lovely day. I like it when I've been busy like this because I'm going to sleep very easily. And my Wi-Fi still hasn't been sorted. And if it's not sorted by tomorrow, I'm simply not going to pay for another 2 weeks. I'll get another alternative. But my money, my power. So I really don't care what their problem is, but if for 2 days we've been talking about the same thing and they haven't had a technician to come over, that's so bad. So welcome to our compound. Anytime you need to have a rest, to have a retreat for my children, Minajijua, our community, you're welcome. Relatives, anytime you want to come and spend a cool afternoon. Right now it's cool. We've not entered into our usual Ruai very hot weather. Now is the best time to come with the babies, to come with yourselves and have a good time. Then we can lunch here. The babies can use this for climbing and enjoying. And it's a nice place to relax also in the evening because it's a bit shaded. And then we have the Mulikamuzi, the security, the street light. So this area is very well lit, and we've also got some lighting also from the house to use here at night. So people, thank you once again. Continue watching my channel. Please subscribe, like, and share with others. Your comments are most welcome, and I love you all. Thank you once more, and toodles, kwaheri.